Today we are talking about the clash of the century, the United States of America versus the Islamic Republic of Iran. The U.S.-backed Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, is forced to leave the country on January 16, 1979 following months of demonstrations and strikes against his rule by secular and religious opponents. 2 weeks later, Islamic religious leader Ayatollah Khomeini returns from exile. Following a referendum, the Islamic Republic of Iran is proclaimed on April 1, 1979. The U.S. Embassy in Tehran is seized by protesters in November 1979 and American hostages are held inside for 444 days. The final 52 hostages are freed in January 1981. The U.S. secretly ships weapons to Iran, allegedly in exchange for Tehran's help in freeing U.S. hostages held by Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. The American warship USS Vincennes shoots down an Iran air flight in the Gulf on 3 July, killing all 290 people on board. The U.S. says the Airbus A300 was mistaken for a fighter jet. In his State of the Union address, President George Bush denounces Iran as part of an axis of evil with Iraq and North Korea. The speech causes outrage in Iran. The U.S. accuses Iran of a clandestine nuclear weapons program, which Iran denies. But several rounds of sanctions are imposed by the UN, the US and the EU against ultra-conservative President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad's government. This causes Iran's currency to lose 2/3 of its value in 2 years. In September 2013, a month after Iran's new moderate President Hassan Rouhani takes office, he and U.S. President Barack Obama speak by phone, the first such top-level conversation in more than 30 years. Then in 2015, after a flurry of diplomatic activity, Iran agrees a long-term deal on its nuclear program with a group of world powers known as the P5+1, the US, UK, France, China, Russia, and Germany. In May 2018, US President Donald Trump abandons the nuclear deal. Before reinstating economic sanctions against Iran, Iran's economy falls into a deep recession. Relations between the U.S. and Iran worsen in May 2019, when the U.S. tightens the sanctions targeting Iran's oil exports. In response, Iran begins a counter-pressure campaign. On January 3, 2020, Iran's top military commander, General Qasem Soleimani, is killed by a U.S. drone strike in Iraq. To conclude, Iran is demanding the United States of America to lift all sanctions in exchange of going back to a new nuclear deal, while the United States of America demands Iran to halt their uranium enrichment first.